known as the Inferno. Tonight, they'll look to turn up the heat against the defending FCS national champion Villanova Wildcats, led by one of the nation's most dynamic players, Matt Caesar. It's semifinal number 1 of the FCS championship, and it comes your way next. Welcome to the semifinal round of the NCAA FCS Championship presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We are in Eastern Washington, Cheney, Washington, home of Roos Field and the famous red turf. That will take center stage today in one of the semifinals going on in the FCS Championship. Villanova and Eastern Washington, the winner will advance to Frisco, Texas on January 7th. Delaware and Georgia Southern tomorrow at noon on ESPNU. The winner of that one will also advance to the championship game. And a pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm Dave Neal alongside former Howard quarterback and NFL quarterback Jay Walker. Glad you could be with us. And Jay, you had a chance to play in the FCS playoffs when you were a quarterback at Howard. I can't imagine what's going on in these guys' minds and their hearts right now.
Take your imagination and magnify it by 10. In postseason playoff football, everything counts. Every third down conversion is crucial. Protecting the football is at a premium. You must play your A game to keep your season alive.
Nothing like playoff football.
Playoffs.
Let's talk about how Villanova got here. You're defending FCS champs, and they just snuck into the playoffs. Actually, they had to win their final regular season game to get in, but since then they have played like Villanova of a year ago, knocking off Appalachian State in Boone, the #1 seed. And part of the reason is Matt Caesar has been unbelievable.
Yeah, Matt Caesar is a two-sport star at Villanova, but when he's on the football field, where's he going to line up? He can play quarterback. He can play running back. When he gets in there and he runs that wildcat formation, he's very explosive. And look at the route running ability from the wide receiver position. You see why the NFL scouts are just drooling at his potential. He's the guy that makes the wildcat offense go, particularly when he's in the wildcat formation.
He missed 6 games with a high ankle sprain. They lose 3 of those games. He is 100% healthy, and he is dangerous. 5 touchdowns last week against Appalachian State. An amazing performance. We'll see what he has in store for us here tonight in Cheney, Washington. Now, as far as Eastern Washington goes, Jay, they come in as the #1 ranked team in the country when the regular season ended. They have not disappointed. They have played their 2 previous FCS playoff games here at home, and they have won those games. They had to go to North Dakota State in overtime to win 38-31, but in that victory, they lost one of the premier players in the entire country in Taiwan Jones, who broke his foot, over 1,700 yards rushing this year, an All-American, a talented running back. But now, where do they turn to pick up that offense?
Yeah, unfortunately for them, they lost their All-American while Villanova's getting healthier. They've got to replace much production from Taiwan Jones. Well, when that happens, you got to rely more on your quarterback. You need your quarterback to show the experience to be a field general. Fortunately for Eastern Washington, Levi Mitchell has adapted well into that role. He's a junior transfer from SMU. He's grasped this offense. He's taken the Eagles to a different level. He's got them soaring at an all-time high. If they can win tonight, they'll be going to the championship game.
We'll see if they can make their first championship appearance, but to do so, they'll have to get through the defending champs. It is the Eastern Washington Eagles against the Villanova Wildcats.
This telecast is presented in high definition on ESPNU HD by Comcast.
Back at Roos Field, home of the red turf, as the semifinal game #1 of this weekend takes place, as Villanova making their 3rd road trip of these playoffs, taking on Eastern Washington and the Eagles. As you look at the forecast, 31 degrees right now, but it will drop down into the mid-20s, and the feel-like temperature will not affect those young men, that is for sure. A crowd of over 8,000 expected. They had their record crowd, 11,000, in this stadium on the opening game of the red turf against their rivals from Montana. They were able to win that game and try to do the same here. Eastern Washington has won 9 straight games. That is the 3rd longest in FCS right now. They've won 7 straight here at home. And the Eagles will kick it off wearing their black uniforms. Villanova in their white with the blue helmets. And the kickoff taken at the 20. Libero hits free. He will go. Nobody will touch him. Touchdown, Villanova.
Wow.
86 yards. What a start for the Cats.
You talk about a team that's got postseason experience, and not only postseason experience, postseason success. That's how you go on the road and take the crowd out of it right away. Kickoff return to open up the football contest.
Angelo Barbero, 86 yards, his 5th return for a touchdown, and it's 6-0 Villanova. That will quiet the home folks in a hurry. Mike Jarrett to attempt the point after. Excuse me, Mark Hamilton to attempt the point after. And it's up and good.
Well, let's take a look at this return here. And take a look how many people get a hand on him. He goes untouched. Look at that seam right up the middle of the crease, middle wedge. Nobody gets off a block. It's a foot race between the returner and the kicker. That's a no match, no contest overall day. Turning on the Jets, showing the athleticism, getting to the outside. Great special teams by the Wildcats.
Averaging over 23 yards per kickoff return. You can increase that average as it's already 7-0 Villanova here on the road. The Road Warriors.
I don't know how many times I've seen a middle kick return where somebody doesn't get one body on them.
Look at the head coach of the Wildcats, Andy Talley, 26th year. 188 and 106, defending FCS champs. Very calm, cool, and collected last night in our meetings. On the flip side, you look at Bo Baldwin in his 3rd year as the head coach here at Eastern Washington, 1 year as the head coach at Central Washington. 25 and 11, had a great ride this year, 11 and 2 overall, 7 and 1 in Big Sky Conference play. Eastern Washington will try and return the favor on the special teams department. We'll see how this Eastern Washington team can handle a deficit here at home. This is a short kick, taken at the 15. Jesse Hoffman, he's explosive in the return game, out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. A 20-yard return, and here comes the Eastern Washington offense, led by Levi Mitchell, the junior out of Katy, Texas. As Jay mentioned earlier, transferred in from SMU and won this job back in spring practice. Didn't take long for Coach Baldwin to realize he was going to be the man, and he has been the man all season. 57.5% completion percentage as he looks at a 1st down and 10 from the 37. Pass caught on the far side by Nicholas Edwards. He'll take it to the 44-yard line, a gain of 7. And Jay, let's take a look at your impact players.
When you talk about Eastern Washington, they like to run the football. They don't have Taiwan Jones, so what they have to do, Mario Brown, the true freshman running back, has to step up and carry the load. He's got to get good yardage today. At wide receiver, Brandon Kaufman, their wide receiver, big target, 6 feet 5 inches. He got 12 touchdowns on the season.
That handoff goes to the freshman Mario Brown. Stays on his feet to midfield. That'll be a 1st down, a gain of 6. Fred Maldonado, the safety, in on the tackle. And go back to our final impact player when Eastern Washington has the ball, Marquise Kirkland.
And Villanova likes to play what they call a 3-3 stack defense. They like to funnel everything into the inside, and waiting on the inside is Marquise Kirkland, the leading tackler for this Villanova defense.
Fresh set of downs now for the Eagles. Couple of tight ends in the game. They'll play fake it to Brown. Bo Levi has a ton of time. He will scramble out. Plenty of running room. Off the left side, will pick up 3.5, maybe 4 before Maldonado trips him up. Maldonado with 77 tackles, 2nd on the team, tied for 2nd in that department.
You see the play action pass here, and they drop 7 guys back in coverage. When that happens, just nowhere for Bo Levi Mitchell to go with the football, and turns up there and turns a nothing play into positive yardage to keep the drive alive.
Second down and 7. Here goes Brown breaking some tackles. Nifty run all the way down to the 31-yard line. That's a 16-yard pickup for the freshman out of Berkeley, California. He came in just 61 carries, 214 yards.
We knew somebody had to pick up the yards out there in the absence of Jones, and you'll see Mario Brown here showing you he's just a true freshman, but at this point in the season, he's running like a true sophomore, getting it done, making guys miss.
Out of the shotgun. Brown will stay in at tailback. 4-receiver look. Pressure comes. Lofted up over the middle. Pass is caught. Touchdown. Nicholas Edwards. 31 yards. His 5th of the season. There's your answer.
Beautiful job by Mitchell, standing tall in the pocket, delivering a strike to Nicholas Edwards with the opportunity to tie this thing up. Middle of the field open. You're going to see the safety stuck on the left hash. He comes back and throws the ball to the right hash to Nicholas Edwards, running down the seam. Good recognition by Mitchell at quarterback.
Edwards with 44 catches on the season. 5 of those have been touchdowns. Mike Jarrett with the point after it is up, and it is good. And Eastern Washington, which gave up the opening kickoff for a touchdown, responds. Levi Mitchell with his 31st touchdown pass of the season. We're tied at 7. You are watching the semifinal round of the NCAA FCS Championship between Villanova and Eastern Washington. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action.
I like this Mario Brown kid. He's pretty good. The coaches got excited when they talked about him. They said he's got great vision. He's a natural running back, great feel for the game, and good feet. Well, you can see right away he looks like a natural playing running back. He doesn't look scared at all to be a true freshman.
4 carries, 29 yards for Brown. Mitchell under center, little play action, will throw to the end zone again, incomplete. Looking for their leading receiver, Brandon Kaufman, and a flag is down on both sides of the field. Kaufman with 59 catches this year, 12 of those have been touchdowns.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That'll back up the Eagles to the 19-yard line. This Villanova offense has played one play. They took the opening kickoff. Angelo Barbero took it back 86 yards for a touchdown, and then on their only play, when they got the football back, they fumbled it. High snap, handoff to Brown, and he'll get a couple. Met in the middle of that line. Cox and Thomas converge on that tackle.
Thomas is one of those guys they say could be our best defensive player, very active around the football. Anytime you see him come in and making tackles, consider the play a good play for the defense for Villanova.
Mitchell, pass complete. Nicholas Edwards, he spins out of bounds around the 10-yard line. That's a gain of about 8. Eric Loper pushes him out of bounds. 3rd grab for Edwards here tonight.
Good job by Mitchell again, making the hot read. Villanova tried to bring pressure from the weak side. He managed to get rid of the ball quickly, get the ball to Edwards in space, chance to pick up some yardage.
So now it's 3rd down and 6. Ball sits at the 10-yard line. Empty set for Levi Mitchell in this Eagle offense. 3-man rush. Quick hitter. Kaufman. Down to the 7-yard line. He will be a couple of yards shy of that first down. Thomas Weaver tracks him down, but another missed tackle. That's 4 missed tackles by the Wildcats defensively, but here comes the field goal unit for Eastern Washington.
Yeah, the wide receiver screen there, trying to get the ball to Brandon Kaufman and let him make a play. Not a bad play selection when you consider he's got the size, 6'5", 210 pounds to run in between the tackles. Just came up a couple yards short for the first down.
Here's Mike Jarrett, 8 out of 16 in the field goal department this year. He's had a couple of kicks blocked, this from 24 yards out. Snap is good, and the kick is even better. So Eastern Washington here at home, leading the defending FCS champs 10-7 with 7:32 to go in the opening quarter. Maybe Andy Talley's offense can run more than one play when they get the ball back. We'll see. You are watching the semifinal round of the NCAA FCS Championship between Villanova and Eastern Washington. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action after these messages.
Look how many white jerseys are starting to crowd the line of scrimmage for Villanova right now, realizing they're having difficulty stopping the run.
Here comes some more pressure. Mitchell thrown to the end zone and dropped. He had his man Greg Hurd, who was twisting and turning, but he had definitely beat Eric Loper and was there for 6 if he could have held onto the football.
They ran the old sluggo route here, slant go. You see the pump, Loper falls for it. He hangs the ball up there with plenty of air, but unfortunately Hurd just gets turned around, loses his wherewithal, doesn't come down with that catch. Just wish he would just stop and settle, but he couldn't get his feet underneath him. He's got to make that grab.
Is that an outside shoulder throw?
It's an outside shoulder throw, but it's a wide open throw. You got to make it.
Here's Brown. It can be whatever throw you want to make it. You just need to complete it, right?
Yeah, some of them, outside shoulder when he's covered, but when he's wide open, that's just a wide open throw.
First incompletion for Bo Levi Mitchell.
That's the painful part as a quarterback. You're out here having a perfect game, and then you end your perfection with a drop ball.
Brown has already eclipsed his previous high for rushing yards, now has a new career high with 58 yards on the ground. Bo Levi Mitchell will stand in that pocket, dance around a little bit. Will throw it to Brown, who certainly wasn't expecting it. That's an incomplete pass. And here comes the field goal unit again, so maybe another win for Villanova.
Yeah, what a great stop by this Wildcat defense. They're taught, keep everything in front of you. Keep everything in front of you, then come up and make the tackle. And you'll see Brown here just assume that Mitchell was going to run the football. Had he caught that, he would have been right there for the first down. That's a freshman mistake right there. Not staying focused on the quarterback at all times.
Mike Jarrett, once again, in to attempt the field goal, connected from 24 on his first attempt, looking at a 31-yarder. The hold of Jeff Minnerly. Kick on the way. It is good. So Eastern Washington has taken 2 Villanova fumbles, converted them to 6 points, and despite all of the plays on offense by the Eagles, the Wildcats only down 6 points.
Yeah, that's a huge defensive stop for Villanova to have the offense settle for 2 field goals. Phenomenal job done by the Wildcat defense. They just need the offense to give them some help and allow them to defend a longer field instead of the short field that they've been having to defend.
We are back in Cheney, Washington, the Bi-Mart Arena just down the road, where they have the rodeo in July every year.
Yeehaw!
Jay went over there, looked for a bull or a horse, something to ride. All he found was a beat-up riding lawnmower. Well, what's at stake here tonight is a chance for one of these teams to play for the championship on January 7th. Eastern Washington, they've been in the semifinals before. They just have not been able to get the championship game. Meanwhile, you look at Villanova, they are your defending FCS champs, trying for a repeat performance, but right now they are having their hands full with the Eagles of Eastern Washington. Mitchell, his pass is incomplete on 3rd down and 8, looking for Nicholas Edwards. That'll bring up a punting situation and another win for Villanova defensively.
I mean, consider this. When we looked at Villanova football, they were the kings of the FCS college football world a year ago. Many teams beat them this year, didn't think they would advance to the postseason. Well, they got in the postseason, and they've been making other teams pay for it. This game is very similar. Eastern Washington jumped out early, had a chance to really put this team in a hole early. Instead, they're only up by 6 points. Once Villanova gets their rhythm going, it's going to be very tough for the Eagles to fight them off.
Cameron Zuber to punt it away for the Eagles. Back deep. One of the dangerous players, most dangerous players in college football, Matt Caesar, who fumbles the football, and if Eastern Washington has it, that'll be their third recovery, and they do. Are you kidding me? Andy Talley doesn't know what to make of this.
Wow, Matt Caesar, their go-to guy. Doesn't call for the fair catch, and good special teams play there by the Eagles. Once it gets on the bottom of that pile there, it becomes like a scrum in rugby. Everybody's just pulling. Great tackle by special teams to dislodge Caesar from the football. And then it just becomes a pulling contest. Who can pull it out of there? Eastern Washington comes away with the football. Their third fumble recovery of the first half.
Matt Johnson, strong safety. Junior comes up with that recovery. Handoff goes to Brown. He'll scoot forward to the 41, give him a couple before Rakim Cox able to pick up his third tackle of the night. But sooner or later, Villanova's defense is going to run out of gas.
It'll catch up to you. I mean, the fact that they had to travel all the way across the country, they've come out, exuded a tremendous amount of energy thus far in this football contest, continue to have to defend a short field. You just wonder how much longer can the Wildcats keep it up.
25 plays now for Eastern Washington, only 8 for Villanova. Levi Mitchell will sail this one out of bounds. Villanova saying he didn't get outside the tackle box, but our referee right on the spot says he did. Got that ball over the line of scrimmage. But Bo Levi Mitchell has certainly calmed down a little bit after that excellent start. 7 out of 7 with a touchdown.
And that's why that drop ball was so important. You know, his 8th attempt was a drop touchdown. Would have put him up by more points than they have right now, but since then they've kind of lost that momentum, and the air just kind of came out of the football, and they've been struggling to find some rhythm since they got off to that hot start.
Eagles are 1 out of 4 on third downs. They're looking at a 3rd down and 8. They'll sling it to the outside, and Tyler Hart will make the catch at the 36, but that's 3 yards shy, 2.5 yards shy the first down. Fred Maldonado with the stop.
Another blitz by the Wildcats, and they're playing some zone coverage behind it. You see the safety, Frederick Maldonado, come up and make the form tackle to keep the Eagle wide receiver short of the first down.
And it looks like Bo Baldwin's going to try to go for it here from the 36-yard line on 4th down, and we'll call it a short 3, long 2. They have been very good on 4th downs this year. Almost 60% have the Eagles. Out of the shotgun. Bo Levi Mitchell dumps it off. Pass caught. Dariel Beaumonte. His first touch is a good one down to the 27, a gain of 8 and a first down.
Good job by the offensive line to actually give Beaumonte time to sneak out of the backfield, pick up the 3 yards needed for the first down. This was by design. You see him just firm up the protection. He's just looking for a soft spot in the zone coverage. Finds it, makes the catch, turns around, first down, Eagles.
That handoff goes to Mario Brown. He'll pick up 4, brought down by Terrence Thomas. Already 5 stops. Make that 6 stops for Thomas. Mario Brown, just 5'9", 175 pounds, playing high school football a year ago in Berkeley, California. Been watching Taiwan Jones, the All-American, run for over 1,700 yards all season long. You get to the semifinals, and they say, here you go, young man. It's your football. And he's been good to this point. Pressure comes. Pass is away. Caught by Kaufman inside the 10. Run out of bounds at the 8-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup. James Pitts had a chance for a short gain, but missed the tackle.
Yeah, you get one-on-one on the weak side with your number 1 receiver, Brandon Kaufman, going against James Pitts in the secondary. Make the catch, make a guy miss. And I like what Bo Levi Mitchell's doing. Every time they bring the blitz, he's making good, accurate throws. You know what's going to happen? Sooner or later, they're going to stop blitzing. They're going to realize, hey, there's no point in sending an extra guy there, exposing our cornerbacks to one-on-one coverage. Let's just start playing zone coverage.
Here's Brown. He'll cut it back inside the 10 and fall forward to the 7.
I mean, He's excited. I mean, that's something there that you normally don't. You have to have the vision to see the cutback hole, but then also the discipline to know when to cut back against the grain and when not to. You see this play is sniffed out very well by the Wildcats. He still looks to the left, but then just cuts to the right, has the good vision, and realizes nothing is there on the outside. Let me just pick up what yards I can. That'll keep an offensive coordinator happy. Anytime you turn a negative play into positive yardage.
Second down and goal now. Ball sits just inside the 7. Mitchell pump fakes. Going to the corner. Wide open. Touchdown. Nicholas Edwards. His second of the game.
Double move once again, the slat and go. We call it a sluggo route in the NFL. Quick pump, get it to the outside, wide open again. I think they must have gone into this game knowing that the Villanova defensive backs like to peek in the backfield. Second time they've called that play against Eric Loper. Second time he's fallen for it, and the wide receiver's been wide open in the back of the end zone.
Mike Jarrett on to attempt the point after. Kick is on the way. It's good. That time the Villanova defense couldn't shut down the Eagle offense. It is 20-7. The Inferno, as they call it here in Eastern Washington, is certainly heating up. We'll have more on that when we come back. You are watching the semifinal round of the NCAA FCS Championship between Villanova and Eastern Washington. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action. Caesar in the Wildcat. Dancing around, and nothing happening on that play for Caesar. Tyler Jolly making the tackle for the Eagles. I wouldn't be surprised, Jay, to see Caesar pull up on one of these and sling it out there somewhere.
They've got it in the repertoire there. You know, he's 7 of 8 throwing the football this year, so he's an effective passer. Talked in the open about the fact that he's a former baseball player. He's not a guy to play second base. He's a center fielder, so he's got plenty of arm strength.
Second down and 10, 7:21 to go before halftime. It has been all Eastern Washington to this point. Whitney makes a man miss. First down inside the 20 at the 18. 15-yard pickup for Chris Whitney.
Take a look at the blocking by the offensive line for Villanova, starting right here with Ben Ijalana. Nobody gets close to the quarterback. Whitney has an opportunity to not only go through his progression, but also determine, let the defense keep dropping backfield, downfield. He can run and pick up the first down. You talk about that left side of that offensive line, Ben Ijalana and Grant Clouser, they really get things done on the left side for Villanova.
A couple of big boys on that side of the line. They'll work it on that side. Livero takes it inside the 10, down to the 8. That'll be close to the first down. We'll see where the final spot is. And they will say a second down coming up, second and a short one for the Wildcats.
Look at the left side. Look at the seal block there by Ijalana, and then the tight end coming in there as well. Chris Farmer getting there. But when you've got guys that can just seal the edge on the defense like that, it makes it easy to be a running back.
Ijalana, two-time FCS All-American. Flag down as Whitney takes it to the 5 on second and 1. Louis with the tackle, if it stands. Villanova could use a break or two here in the first half.
Offside, defense, number 95. Penalty is half the distance to the goal, first down.
So that'll set up a first and goal now for Villanova. As you look at Ben Ijalana, two-time freshman FCS All-American, 52 consecutive starts. He and Clouser have both started every game. 52 straight games those guys have lined up next to each other.
I'll tell you what an impact player he is. He's up for the Peyton Award, which is the FCS level of the Heisman Trophy.
Right.
How often have you heard an offensive line eligible to win the Heisman or the Peyton Award? That's how dominating he is.
Little option game to the left side. Mikey Reynolds tripped up at the 1, give him 3.5. Jesse Hoffman makes the tackle, but now it'll be 2nd down and goal.
You see the late pitch here by Whitney, and Hoffman's going to do a good job of fighting off the wide receiver block, coming on the inside. Took a very aggressive angle to get inside of the wide receiver there. Norman White made that tackle there. Good job. Jesse Hoffman taken down Mikey Reynolds.
Caesar in the Wildcat. Caesar working the right side. Powers his way. Did he get in? Yes, he did. He was met there by Zach Johnson, and Caesar won that battle. How about 2 defenders meeting Caesar, Zach Johnson, J.C. Sherritt, and they couldn't stop him from getting 6.
They may have to take a look at this one because Sherritt does a good job of getting him up and pulling him back, but oh, that close. It broke the plane there, but you see Sherritt doing the right thing you're supposed to do as a linebacker. Once you make that initial contact, don't allow the running back's momentum to continue forward into the end zone. He lifted Caesar off the ground and tried to pull him back to keep him out of the end zone.
Well, this play will go back and be analyzed by our replay official, Dan Hill, in his replay booth. We'll step aside, see if Villanova can get on the board. Back in a moment. You are watching the semifinal round of the NCAA FCS Championship between Villanova and Eastern Washington. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action. You are looking at Matt Caesar with a rushing touchdown as they give him credit for 6. The ball did break the plane, so Villanova now down 7, pending the point after, which could close the gap obviously to 6. But Caesar met at the goal line by J.C. Sherritt. They went nose to nose, a couple of All-Americans, and on that particular battle, it was Caesar that won. Hamilton's point after splits the uprights. And we'll take one more look at that touchdown. As Caesar is attended to, looks like he might have gotten a little cut.
One thing about Matt Caesar we know is he's not afraid to hit the hole, and all that ball has to do is just cross that white line you see there, and it counts for a touchdown. You see Caesar lower the helmet. You see Sherritt lower the shoulder pads, pull him back. Football's a game of inches. That time it went in favor of the offense.
The NCAA FCS Championship on ESPN2 is brought to you by Jared, the Gallery of Jewelry, with 5 times the selection of ordinary jewelry stores. And by Subway Restaurants. Try the Meltastic new Chipotle chicken and cheese today. The FCS Football Championship continues tomorrow at noon with semifinal action as Georgia Southern travels to Delaware to take on the Blue Hens live on ESPNU at noon Eastern. For more info on the FCS Football Championship, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. And the president of the NCAA, Dr. Mark Emmert, here in attendance. Had a chance to catch up with him before the game today. Excited to be here in Eastern Washington. Barbero, first down after he picks up 12 yards. Matt Johnson, the safety, brings him down.
You like picking up positive yardage, but especially when you're running a no-huddle offense. If you can get that first down in college football, the clock stops as they move the chain. So good first place selection by Villanova. Seeing if they just cross midfield, possibly get an attempt at a field goal here to cut this lead to 3 points by halftime.
Again, Barbero out over the 40 to the 43-yard line. Anthony Larry with the stop. Clock at 20 seconds. Three timeouts left, but Villanova not going to use them. Hand it off again to Barbero. He'll break free. I think Villanova will just try to get to the locker room here and assess the damage. Actually, they'll use a timeout with 4 seconds.
surprised they didn't use it on that previous running play there, but you know, in the defense of Villanova, for them, I mean, it's been their kicking game that's been their biggest disappointment this season. They had to make a change in kickers late in the season, which is something you normally don't want to have to do. But I thought after they picked up another 5 yards in that running play, you got 3 timeouts. Why not burn that clock, stop the clock, burn those timeouts? You don't need to carry them over with you into the second half.
Venuto, the offensive coordinator, 12th year as the OC, talking to his troops. Big physical offense led by their big physical offensive line. They just haven't had the football very much. 19 minutes of possession time for Eastern Washington, just a shade over 10 minutes tonight for Villanova. It has been 40 plays for Eastern Washington, 22 plays for Villanova. 3 Eagle defenders stand back inside the 10-yard line. Whitney hit as he throws, chunks it up for the end zone. It's a scramble and it falls incomplete at the turf. And that'll do it for the first half of play. Eastern Washington took advantage of 3 Villanova fumbles, turned them into 13 points, but yet Villanova hung in there. Welcome back to the semifinal round of the NCAA FCS Championship presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We are getting set for second half football, as are the players here in Keene, Washington. Dave Neal back alongside my former NFL quarterback, Jay Walker. And certainly, when you look at this first half, it really comes down to the fact that Villanova couldn't hold on to the football. Yeah,
the fact of the matter is they've won in spite of shooting themselves in the foot several times. 3 turnovers on the short side of the field, but yet they're only down by 1 score. If they play their best half of football, it's going to be a great game in the second half. Well, early in this game, you said if somebody was going to have to make a difference offensively for Eastern Washington, it had to be the quarterback, Levi Mitchell. I mean, the decision-making of Mitchell has been phenomenal in the first half. They brought everything at him but the kitchen sink. Blitzes, they've tried to play zone coverage on him. He's managed to find the open wide receiver time and time again and allow his wide receivers to make big plays. Yeah, he has been on target. Started the game 7 for 7. Now time for our Home Depot coaching adjustments, and for that we'll talk a little bit about the Villanova offense. Yeah, I think it comes down to Matt Caesar, and what are you going to do creatively to get him the football? They tried to do it the traditional way, but it hasn't quite worked out for him, so they'll try and move him around a little bit and tell him to hold on to the football back there on special teams, and then when he's playing offense, you got to give him that wildcat to get to the perimeter more and try and attack more. So I look for them to maybe bring out that passing package they have with Matt Caesar, see if he can catch the Eastern Washington defense sneaking up, looking for the run and throwing the football. I think that'll be the coaching adjustment that we'll see Villanova make in the second half, creatively finding Matt Caesar ways to touch the football. Well, last year in the championship game, Caesar very quiet in the first half, and then he went crazy in the second half on his way to the Most Outstanding Player award as Villanova captured the national championship. So the Wildcats will kick it off. That kickoff taken by Jesse Hoffman, who takes it out. Lost the football on the red turf, but I think Eastern Washington came up with it. Special teams for Villanova trying to get the second half started off like they did in the first half. Good tackle there, helmet on the football, ball laying around on the turf, and Maldonado, the safety for Villanova, is just a little bit too late to the pile to cap the fumble recovery. So here comes Levi Mitchell back on the field after that short scare. Levi, 16 out of 22, $149, couple of touchdowns, and really handled the blitzing defense of Villanova quite well. Quick pass caught by Nicholas Edwards at the 38, 5-yard pickup as we take a look at some of those first half statistics. I think the one that jumps out is the time of possession. I mean, consider the fact that Eastern Washington has had the ball almost twice as much time of possession as Villanova. That's the key in the 3 turnovers. The fact that Villanova turned the ball over 3 times, they're only down by 6, and the defense really held on and didn't allow Eastern Washington to capitalize with touchdowns, forcing them to settle for field goals. And a big-time collision on the far side as James Pitts just lit up Tyler Hart, a loss of 2. You want to continue to take the short passes? Well, we'll tell the corner to play more aggressive on the outside. You'll see this quick little wide receiver screen and watch Pitts come up and attack. That's a helmet knocker right there. Good job by Tyler Hart to hold on to that football. So often the wide receiver will become disengaged from the football, but he showed some toughness by holding on.
Pitts led Villanova with 14 stops against Appalachian State last Saturday in Boone. Mitchell under pressure, buys a little bit of time, throws deep on the run, and that's incomplete. Looking for Brandon Kaufman, Pitts on the coverage. And here comes, as you see in the background, Matt Caesar back to return this Eastern Washington punt.
Villanova continuing to pressure the pocket. They force Mitchell to escape. He's not a nifty quarterback, and once you make a quarterback run toward the sideline, all you have to do is defend the sideline. Good start for the Wildcat defense.
Here's Cameron Zuber, his first punt tonight, traveled 42 yards, no return. Caesar back to return this punt. He fumbled and gave Eastern Washington another chance on his lone return. He waves everybody off, as that'll take a Villanova bounce out to the 32-yard line. 35-yard punt. And here come the Wildcat offensive players. The winner of this one will move on to Frisco, Texas, just outside of Dallas on January 7th. They will await the winner of Delaware, Georgia Southern, a game played tomorrow at noon Eastern on ESPNU. Georgia Southern back in the picture after a lengthy absence. Of course, they are so often associated with national champs at this level. Caesar in the Wildcat. Maybe a yard. Bernard Williams with the tackle.
Talk about Georgia Southern. Nobody's won more national championships than Georgia Southern on this level of football. They're back in the mix, and the team that's missing, the rival for Eastern Washington, Montana. They've been in the postseason for 17 consecutive years. Didn't get invited to the playoffs this year. They're watching.
You know it stings when they get to watch their rivals Eastern Washington play. Caesar pass caught out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Tyler Washburn, the middle backer, brings him down. Villanova, of course, defending national champs. Eastern Washington trying to get to that championship game, but here's a look at the championships. Georgia Southern with 6 of those. Appalachian State came in as a #1 seed this year. They have 3 championships, but they were knocked off by Villanova last weekend. Really just dismantled by Villanova. Great performance all the way around by the Wildcats.
One thing Appalachian State is not known for doing is losing at home, but to lose at home is one thing, but to get dismantled at home lets you know how impressive this Villanova team can be.
Ribeiro in at quarterback. He'll take the Wildcat snap. Needs a yard and a half, and I think he got 2.
Great second effort and third effort. Good penetration by the defensive line for Eastern Washington, led by Bernard Williams and Tyler Washburn coming in there. The initial penetration gets behind the line of scrimmage. Good swim move by David Gaylord, but he can't bring him down. Then it becomes a battle of wills, and Tyler Washburn gets there, but great second effort by the Wildcats.
Here comes Reynolds in motion. And Chris Whitney will keep it and lose a bunch. Will actually spot his forward progress back at the 38-yard line, so that's a loss of 6. And Paul Enna with a tackle for loss for the Eagles.
You see Enna was there just to play that zone read there. They were trying to run the option off of Enna. Chris Whitney decided to hold on to the football, and Enna made him pay for it. Tackle for loss. Loss of 5.
Injury for Villanova. It's Craig James, the defensive back, heading off to that locker room. And flags are down.
For the play, false start on the offense. Number 79, 5-yard penalty, second down.
As far as penalties go this year, Villanova flagged 64 times, 519 yards total. Only 40 yards per game, not a bad number, but that doesn't make that man very happy. The head coach over at Villanova, Andy Talley. 26 years he's been roaming the Villanova sidelines. Second down and 19. Four-man look from the Eagles. They'll rush 3. Chase down from behind. A loss of 2. And Sehop with a big defensive tackle as this Eastern Washington club has come out of the locker room on a mission, and you see Whitney hobbling off the field.
Yeah, doesn't see it coming. You see Sehop on the left side of your screen just chase down the quarterback. Whitney doesn't know, and looks like his knees get caught underneath him. Whitney limping off the field. Not a good sign for the Wildcats, as tough as he may be. Their backup quarterback in this stage of the game would be freshman if they're trying to redshirt, Dustin Thomas.
Well, NFL North rivals battle on ESPN's Monday Night Football as Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears head to Minnesota to face perhaps Brett Favre and the Vikings. Bears-Vikings on ESPN's Monday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Of course, that game being played at University of Minnesota, an outside venue.
That's a true test right there. When I played for the Vikings, all the fans used to say, we need to go back to playing outdoors. Bring back the old days. And you know what the guys in the locker room used to say? Not with free agency.
Right, that's right.
Never forget Chris Carter saying, with free agency, I would be out here so quick. But I guess some of the old timers there will get what they want. Outdoor football back in the Twin Cities.
So after the timeout, Whitney back on. Remember, he's just been battling injuries after injuries all season long. But he is one tough competitor. Looking at a 3rd and forever. 3rd and 21. Nowhere to go. Whitney dropped again. That's a loss of 9. David Gaylord will get credit for the initial hit, followed up by Tyler Jolly.
And that's the one thing you don't expect from your senior quarterback, to take a sack in that situation where this could come down to being a battle of field position. You lose more yardage there, and Whitney just doesn't seem like he has any mobility there. He drops back. He's very ginger in the way he's moving. Get rid of the football right there. Don't take that unnecessary punishment.
Fair catch called for and taken by Alante Wright. So Eastern Washington's offense back on the field when we return to the red turf here in Cheney, Washington. 20-14 Eagles. The NCAA FCS Championship on ESPN2 is brought to you by Toshiba. Toshiba, leading innovation. And by Audi, truth in engineering. Looking at Cheney, Washington, about 15 miles outside of Spokane, Washington. Beautiful part of the country, where tonight, Eastern Washington hosting a semifinal tilt with Villanova, a team seeking their 2nd consecutive FCS championship game appearance. Meanwhile, the Eagles trying to make their 1st championship game appearance. And you look at Andy Talley, the head coach at Villanova, talking to his starting quarterback, Chris Whitney, who did not practice all week because of a bad foot, and it looks as though that foot might be bothering him once again. We'll see if he comes out for the next Villanova series. In the meantime, here's Levi Mitchell handing off to the true freshman Mario Brown, who lost the football, and I think the Wildcats have it. Or they had it and may have given it back. No, the Wildcats have it at the 34-yard line. Eric Loper with the fumble recovery. As you look at Mark Reardon, the defensive coordinator at Villanova. Boy, did they need a turnover.
You started to think that they were going to need the defense to jumpstart the offense, and the defense came up huge with the turnover, the penetration behind the line of scrimmage. And Mario Brown's done some great things, but trying to make too much happen there when the play was well defensed. Dancing in the backfield, you can only get away with that so many times. Bumps into his own guy. Fumble recovery for the Wildcats.
Didn't look like much of an impact on the football and just fell out of there. So now Villanova will start this drive after they backed up 20 yards on their last possession. Matt Caesar in the Wildcat takes the snap, tries to go off left guard. Got a couple of yards before he is slammed to the red turf here at Roos Field. They call it the Inferno.
Tough running on the inside for Matt Caesar. Renard Williams has played a great game just penetrating at will, basically eliminating the interior run offense for the Wildcats. So any runs you're seeing for Villanova, it's been on the success they've had, it's been attacking the perimeter, because you got big Renard Williams on the inside, 6'2", 300-pound junior from Port Orchard, Washington.
Caesar takes a break. Whitney back on the field. To his left is Aaron Ball. Play fake to Ball. Whitney will stand in the pocket, has plenty of time, but now is flushed out. Will run with it, gets a couple of blocks. Close to the first down marker. Needed to get inside the 23-yard line for the first down. Give them 7. We'll see where they spot it. That might be about a football shy. Renard Williams runs him out of bounds.
I mean, we talk about him on the inside, stopping the run. Now take a look at the pursuit. This is what they like to see in the NFL. Have the engine. You know you're being double teamed. And watch him come down the line and just turn on the jets. Track Whitney down to the sideline. Oh, I like seeing big guys with motors and engines that can run down the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and a yard. Caesar in at quarterback. Wildcats 3 out of 6 on 3rd down conversions tonight. Caesar will work the right side, cut it back, and fall forward. That should be good enough for the first down. Needed a yard, got 2. Tyler Jolly in on the tackle. And they will move the chains.
Talk to the Villanova coaches. They said the running back that runs and hits the hole the hardest for us is Matt Caesar. What does that tell you about that young man? Starts as a wide receiver. Coaches think he runs and hits the hard with the most explosiveness out of anybody on our team.
6-point Eastern Washington advantage. First down and 10. Whitney to throw, wide side. Pass is dropped by Mikey Reynolds. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
That could have been a huge play there for the Wildcats. They had the look they want. Eastern Washington had stacked the box, tried to get pressure on the running game, play action, deliver the ball to Mikey Reynolds in space with the lead blocker. Missed opportunity for a big play by the Wildcats. Take a look at Mikey Reynolds. One thing about him, he's very small, 5'6", 165 pounds. Powerlifting champion in high school.
Whitney to throw, looking to the end zone, and Caesar off his fingertips, incomplete. That was close to being picked off. Matt Johnson and Jesse Hoffman converge on the coverage.
That was a matchup that Eastern Washington won, and anytime Matt Caesar went beyond 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, they wanted the safety, Matt Johnson, to be there somewhere in the vicinity. Johnson, the leading interceptor on this Eagle defense. Good job of playing center field.
Now you're looking at 3rd down and 10. Caesar in the slot on the near side. Play clock down to 2. They just get the snap off. Whitney over the middle, hits Caesar, but he is well shy of the first down. Popped at the 18 by Jesse Hoffman. Only 3 yards on that pickup, and now you're looking at a 4th down and 7. And here comes the kicking unit. And that's a prime example of what Eastern Washington likes to do. They play a basic 4-3 for the most part, and they just say, throw it in front of us and we'll make a play.
Yep, and they challenge you to beat it. Say, we're not going to get fancy. We're going to put our 7 guys in the box, and if you can win, so be it. If not, we've got a great secondary that can come up and make the tackle.
35-yard attempt on the way from Mark Hamilton. 5 out of 7. Was 4 out of 4 in the opening playoff game against Stephen F. Austin. He sends this one just inside the right upright, and he is good. And that makes it 20-17, and Villanova takes advantage of the Mario Brown fumble. They'll take the 3 and pull within 3 here on the red turf of Eastern Washington. You are watching the semifinal round of the NCAA FCS Championship between Villanova and Eastern Washington. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action after these messages.
This telecast is presented in high definition on ESPNU HD by Comcast.
On your left is the 2nd leading rusher in the FCS, Taiwan Jones. Ran for 230 last week, but in the process broke his left foot. You see the cast, had a pin placed in that foot. So he's turned to the true freshman Mario Brown to take the football. And Mario's done a pretty good job. Has turned it over once and nearly turned it over a minute ago. But all told, Mario Brown doing a nice job. 19 carries, 82 yards. But now Villanova will try to go the distance, trailing by 3. Whitney will hand it off to Libero. Gain of 2. But this has been, Jay, a game that has certainly had its share of miscues.
Yeah, it seems like the ball's been slippery all night on the turf, this famous red turf. On far too many occasions, Villanova coming out and really putting themselves in a hole. 3 turnovers, even the All-American Matt Caesar got involved in the turnover game in the first half. But fortunately for Eastern Washington, they fumbled football. Villanova the only man to come up with the field goal as well. So both defenses have done a good job in helping out their offense after making offensive miscues.
So on 2nd down and 8, Whitney out of the shotgun. Throw it near side. Norman White makes the catch. He'll spot it up at the 28-yard line. A gain of 6. That'll bring up about a 3rd and 2. Dante Calcote on the coverage.
This will be interesting play selection here for offensive coordinator Sam Vinotto, because the basis of their offense is that dart option, that spread option type of read. But you've got a quarterback that's on one leg where he's not going to be able to run the football. So now look for them to rely more on the passing game, because they just can't run their basic bread and butter play.
Empty set on 3rd down and 2. Whitney will check it off. Play clock at 5. Navarro will come back to help protect the pocket. Here comes some pressure. Whitney, low throw, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and 2.
That's one where I think his limited mobility really haunted him there. Didn't have the ability to slide step away from the rush when they brought the blitz in the pocket. Couldn't get his legs underneath him. Watch, and this is one where you normally just slide away from it, but you see he's really heavy-footed there. Can't go with it, can't make an accurate throw. Incomplete pass.
A rare blitz from Eastern Washington pays off. Dominic Scarnecchia punts it away. It will end up near the 20-yard line. A 51-yard punt. NCAA football championships continue tomorrow on ESPN2 and ESPNU. First at 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2, Delta State takes on Minnesota Duluth in the NCAA Division II championship. Then at 3:30 Eastern, catch the NCAA Division III championship on ESPNU as Wisconsin Whitewater faces Mount Union. The NCAA football championships presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car on ESPN2 and ESPNU tomorrow. How about the 6th straight championship meeting between Wisconsin Whitewater and Mount Union?
They just need to eliminate the regular season and just play one championship game every season.
Pass caught by Brandon Kaufman, gain of 4 on the play.
One thing I can tell you about Mount Union, they've been winning for a long time. You know, don't just go with the 6th straight championship meeting. Look at them, 14 championship game appearances, and it seems like Wisconsin Whitewater's the new kid on the block.
2nd down and 6. Going up top.
What a throw.
Brandon Kaufman down the far sidelines. He will take it to the end zone. Touchdown, Eastern Washington. 76 yards, and there are no flags.
Kaufman came in with 12 touchdown receptions on the year. Number 13 was pretty. It was a big one. Showed you the good hands, the good route running, and the breakaway speed to outrun the Villanova secondary to get into the end zone.
Kaufman was held without a catch for the first time all year last week against North Dakota State. Making up for it here tonight. One after from Mike Jarrett, splits the uprights. And Eastern Washington has jumped out to a 10-point advantage. First team all Big Sky performer. Has a couple of game-winning touchdown catches this season. But that one went 76 yards.
And just a good outside release. And look at this throw. Defensive back turns to locate the football. That's a no-no when you're in that trail position. You just got to follow the wide receiver. And Kaufman's showing you he's got the speed to outrun the secondary. Bo Levi Mitchell is a quarterback. It's a great feeling to know you threw that ball right on a dime in the perfect location. Safety help is not deep enough. Take a look at number 2, Maldonado. He takes a poor angle in getting his release in the cover 2 zone. Bo Mitchell has the arm strength to zip that ball in there in the crease of the defense. And Kaufman makes him pay from there.
Kaufman now with 6 catches, 118 yards. It's his 4th 100-yard game this year. He came in 59 catches, 959 yards, 12 touchdowns, averaging over 16 yards a grab. And that average will go up.
Kaufman's been a great story for Eastern Washington. Didn't do much as a freshman. Went there in the offseason, worked out in Colorado, came back, had the mindset of a go-to wide receiver, and he's been playing phenomenal all season long for the Eagles.
17 catches last year. Now for this season has 65. Short kick. Plenty of running room for Maldonado. Out across midfield. They'll mark it at the 40. Actually right at midfield. So good return of 33 yards for Maldonado will set up Villanova with good field position. Down 10.
This is that time where follow Matt Caesar right now. Quarterback that seems like he's playing on one leg, limited. This is the time when you need your All-American to make a play for you.
Inside handoff, Caesar breaks a tackle, still on his feet. Caesar falls forward, good heavy run from Matt Caesar, picks up 12, finally brought down by Jeff Minnerly.
One thing you like about watching Matt Caesar is he's just a football player. I mean, he's got the football instincts. One of those guys that if you're playing a sandlot game on the street, you want him as your first pick. You play quarterback for, he's got the vision to play running back, the shiftiness to play wide receiver, and the ability to make 2 guys miss on his way to a first down carry.
Aaron Ball close to the 30-yard line, give him 8. Zach Johnson and J.C. Sherritt converge on that tackle. Villanova kind of in a hurry up. Down 10 with 1:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Throw to the near side. Mikey Reynolds picks up the first down and tiptoes down that near sideline. They will, let's see where they finally spot that. It'll be at the 21-yard line. That'll be a first down and a gain of 9.
Same play they called earlier, trying to get the ball to Mikey Reynolds, and you see Kenny Miles, number 10, make a great block there to free Reynolds so he can get up the sideline. I like the play selection, going back to Reynolds, keeping his confidence, giving an opportunity to make up for the previous mistake when he dropped that pass earlier.
Ribeiro on the carry. Tyler Jolly makes the tackle, gain of a yard. Nice drive by Villanova. This is not a team that will be rattled. Down 21 in the opening playoff game, but answered back to beat Stephen F. Austin. Whitney throws to the corner, and catch is made at the 1-yard line by Norman White. It'll be 1st and goal, Wildcats.
It's a great job here. They ran a double out combination. You see Whitney having the ability to make the far throw across his body and see if he caught it smoothly to get that 1 foot in. Oh, yes, he did.
Nice catch by their leading receiver. So 1st and goal from the 1 out of the I. Whitney will keep it. Working the left side. Touchdown, Villanova. Chris Whitney with his 12th rushing touchdown of the season. Makes it a
He's tough.
27-23 game. And he is a man who is battling injuries, but gutting it out.
I mean, that's all heart and determination right there. To make that cut on a dime when you know he's ginger on that bad ankle that's been troubling him all game. Playing on determination.
Point after is up and good. 27-24. The Wildcats won't go away in their third straight road game in the FCS playoffs. That'll give us an opportunity to head to the studio for a Sports Center right now. That didn't look good.
No, that's tough enough. You know, Dallas Mavericks playing some of the best basketball in the Western Conference right now. I think they rattled off a 12-game winning streak once upon a time. Great addition by Tyson Chandler helping out the Mavericks.
Mario Brown getting stretched out on that Eastern Washington sideline as you look at our game summary to this point. Even though Matt Caesar has been pretty much held in check nicely by Eastern Washington's defense. 3 Villanova turnovers helped Eastern Washington get off to a good start, but the Wildcats hanging around.
Every time that Eastern Washington started to gain that momentum and you figured they were going to run away with it, Villanova would rise to the occasion and come back with one of those scoring drives to keep them in the ball game.
Short kick to the 12. Big hit at the 34-yard line. And again, once again on special teams, Terrence Thomas, starting linebacker. If you look at the special teams, especially the coverage units for Villanova, it's almost all starters.
It is. I mean, they get very physical on defense, but take a look at this throw here by Whitney to set up the touchdown run here. So you saw the throw there, then you see him make the hard cut there, barely able to change direction, but still having enough physical ability to muscle his way into the end zone.
Boy, Whitney is just hobbling around, can barely move. Still 8 out of 12 through the air. Had that touchdown run. Mitchell pass is caught by Greg Hurd at the 40-yard line. That's a 6-yard pickup. Eric Loper with the tackle.
They've been picking on Eric Loper all evening, and I think, you know, they take the short throws to set him up for the double moves, and he's been falling for it.
Jay, that'll do it for the third quarter. Big 76-yard touchdown reception to Brandon Kaufman, but then Chris Whitney answers back. We've got a good one here in Eastern Washington. Back at Roos Field, home of the Red Sprint Turf. The inaugural season of the Red Turf. It's the FCS Championships Semifinals. Villanova and Eastern Washington trying to make it to Frisco, Texas on January 7th. The winner will face the winner of Delaware, Georgia Southern, coming your way at noon Eastern tomorrow on ESPNU. That'll be an exciting game. Delaware, of course, in the same conference, the Colonial Athletic Association, as Villanova. 4-man rush. Batted in the air and actually caught by the Eagles. I think Nicholas Edwards came back to make that catch. How about that?
Good concentration. If you're a wide receiver, go up and catch any football that comes in your area, in your vicinity. Go find it. He was the intended target in the first place. Ball was tipped up. He readjusted. Thomas Weaver from Villanova did a good job of getting his hands on it. Good job by Nicholas Edwards, locating the football, making the catch, and picking up a few yards.
It's 9 catches now for Edwards. That's a career high. Also has a career high 82 yards receiving. 3rd down and 2. Play clock at 5. Oh, Levi. A little too quick on the throw. Tried to hit Greg Hurd. It wasn't even close to coming out of his break. And here comes the punt team.
3rd and short, and Villanova did a better job of moving their defensive backs a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. They weren't going to let Bo Mitchell have an easy pre-snap read to determine where he was going with the football. Made him go through his progressions, not enough time. Incomplete pass. Good defense by the Wildcats.
One thing about Mark Reardon's defense at Villanova, they will blitz 75% of the time. On the flip side, Eastern Washington blitzes about 10% of the time. Cameron Zuber's punt. Fair catch called for by Caesar, and he'll take it at the 15-yard line. A 43-yard punt, no return. And with 14:07 to go before we decide the first participant in the championship game, Eastern Washington by 3. The NCAA FCS Championship on ESPN2 is presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. And in part by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL. We are in the Pacific Northwest, Cheney, Washington, just outside of Spokane. Home to the Inferno. Here at Roos Field, the red turf. Eastern Washington up by 3, fourth quarter football. Villanova first down and 10 at the 15. Whitney handoff. Barbero trying to turn the corner, and he is swallowed up by 4-5. And a fumble, loose football. Tyler Washburn will take it in. Touchdown, Eagles. How did that happen? Andy Talley asking the same question. How did that happen?
One thing we know about Eastern Washington, they play through the whistle. You know, they will pull and strip and try and tug balls away every chance they can. And Talley, I'm sure, is going to want to see this reviewed. Let's take a look here, see if we have a good angle.
He's under further review.
It looked as though David Gaylord might have stripped that football, but the question becomes, was Barbero down on the ground?
Or had the forward progress been signaled? Right. I'm assuming since there was no whistles, everybody kept playing, so that would have meant that the official did not stop the forward progress.
It's up in the replay booth. We'll step aside, get the results when we come back. Well, you see the jubilation. It was just announced that it was a fumble and a touchdown for Tyler Washburn, the middle linebacker. The sophomore goes 15 yards. And Villanova, when they came out west, they certainly brought their Santa sleigh with some presents. They have coughed up the football today, time and time again. That point after is up and good. 4 fumbles today for the Wildcats. They had gone 4 previous games without a turnover.
You know, we talked about that in the open, the fact that, you know, turnovers are magnified in postseason play. Your season's on the line, and momentum was going down, coming backward, but did not secure the ball until he made contact. And David Gaylord did a good job of stripping that ball out of there. That might have been the strip. Might have. In the strip that sent his team to Texas.
Tyler Washburn's first fumble recovery for a touchdown in his young career. He did have an interception return for a touchdown, didn't Washburn? But that might be the biggest play of his career. With 13:56 to go, it's now a 10-point game again. Does Villanova have enough to keep answering the bell?
That's a question. Do they have enough gas in the tank to mount one more drive right away to get them back in this football contest to make it a one-score possession? They've been here before. Nobody said ever advancing in the postseason would be easy. You're going to face hurdles and adversity. They've been able to rebound time and time again. Do they have one more left in them?
Eastern Washington last week, they turned it over 5 times, but able to come away with a 38-31 overtime win over North Dakota State. Terrence Thomas got tripped up after the short kick at the 43-yard line. A linebacker with the return of 5 yards, but pretty good field position for Villanova at the 43.5-yard line.
Good field position, and you're at the point in the fourth quarter where you don't have to abandon your game plan just yet. You're down by 10, but you've got, you know, almost 14 minutes of play left in the fourth quarter. That's plenty of time. Right now, you have to just stick to your basic fundamentals, your game plan, and what you think will work. You don't have to become a pass-happy offense yet. You need to just Get a nice steady drive down the field.
4 receiver set, 3 to the top. They'll go that way. Trying to hit Caesar. Nice hands. Slips it to the outside and gets it to the Eagle 48-yard line. And Caesar slow to get up. You could hear the collision all the way up here in our booth. Matt Johnson, who's been his shadow all evening, laid the hit on Caesar.
Yeah, he took a knock in there, and you see even Matt Johnson's going to leave the game there.
Ooh.
Oh, that was helmet on helmet.
Whitney will keep it, trying to get that first down. He'll get tripped up, but I think he'll have it. That'll be a first down run at the 46-yard line. Hoffman will get credit for the tackle.
This has been a very physical game played by both defenses. I think the surprise being that Eastern Washington didn't think they had a defense that could really beat up on people. So they've cranked up their level of toughness here this evening. Slow down this Villanova offense.
To the near side, Mikey Reynolds. East of the 42, Zach Johnson. The twin brother of safety Matt Johnson makes the tackle, gain of 3. Zach had to sit out last year after they discovered a blood clot in his leg. It cost him his sophomore season. Was on blood thinners for about 6 months, had to watch the entire season. His brother Matt, the safety, changed numbers, wore Zach's number 10 last year in honor of his twin brother. Whitney slings it near side. Batted away at the last moment. Heck of a defensive play from Alan Brown, the freshman out of Tacoma. The free safety coming over to make a big play on Mikey Reynolds.
Yeah, they tried to bring Mikey Reynolds all the way across the field, the formation. You'll see him right there in the middle. He's trying to find a soft spot in that zone, and good break on the ball by Alan Brown to get there just in the nick of time to bat that ball away.
Eastern Washington has won 9 straight games, 7 in a row here on the red turf. Villanova 4 out of 9 on 3rd downs. They're looking at a 3rd and 6. Trying to set up a little screen. They do so. Doss. Big hit, but I think it's good enough for the first down inside the 35. Jeff Minnerly with the hit for Eastern Washington, but they'll move the chains.
Trying to set up that screen took a long time to develop, but it was a good job by the offensive line, especially Dan Shirey, just getting that body in the way sometimes. You don't have somebody to hit, just reach out and fall on somebody. You'll see number 50 there looking. He gets spun around, still gets a body on somebody, and good running by Doss to pick up the first down.
Whitney will keep it on one leg. Will pick up 7 yards, maybe 8 before he's dropped by Tyler Jolly. Folks, he's got a bad foot. He's got a bad knee. He's got 2 bulging discs in his back. Doctors say he cannot play football after this year. He doesn't want this to be his final game.
Leaving it all on the field. And I don't know if there's a better example of seeing that in college football today than the effort that Chris Whitney's given us here this evening.
That handoff goes to Aaron Ball, and he'll pick up 2.5, maybe 3. It'll bring it 3rd down and short.
What do we keep saying about this Villanova team? They just don't go away. You know, it goes back to what we keep saying. If you're going to upset the king, you got to kill him. And if not, he's going to come back. He's going to try and slay you.
Well, the last time Villanova had 4 turnovers in a game was back in September of 2008. They did it against Penn. They had 4 turnovers tonight. Down 10 here. 3rd down and short. That handoff goes to Ball, and that'll be good enough for the first down. Clock continues to move at 10:19. See if they stop it for the first down for a moment. Continues to run. 10:15. They will stop it now to move the chains.
Talk about a guy that really wants this game. Never seen a quarterback do that. Chris Whitney gave the ball on the handoff to Ball, then pushed him forward. Gave him a shove forward. He's a competitor.
Little play action. Whitney going over the middle. Intercepted. Jeff Merrily with the pick. Runs it out to the 15-yard line, and the drive is snuffed out.
Ball kind of got away from him, trying to work it to the middle of the field. Good defense by Eastern Washington. One underneath, one over the top. Merrily stayed home. Didn't fall for any type of fake. Dropped back. Got a good read on the quarterback's throw. That's one that Whitney wish he could have back.
Well, Merrily is a former quarterback, and when Levi Mitchell transferred in, he said, you know what, I'll go play some safety. That handoff to Mario Brown picks up 3.5, but Merrily with a huge interception. Caesar and Whitney. Ribeiro on that bench. You see Caesar getting checked out, seeing if he's all right after a big collision, but there is Jeff Merrily. .9:22. Eastern Washington will let this play clock get inside 10 seconds. Mitchell, he's going up top again. Looking for Nicholas Edwards, who's having a career evening with 9 catches. Couldn't catch up with that one, however.
That was the coaching adjustment made by the Villanova defense. Stopped falling for the double move. That time Eric Loper stayed back. Didn't allow the quarterback to bait him with the pump fake. Matt Caesar still just looks out of that hit.
Eastern Washington just 1 out of 9 on 3rd downs today. Looking at a 3rd and 7. On the run. And Villanova's defense will get the clock stopped with 9:01, forcing a punt and give their offense another chance. And Caesar will not be back to return this punt as the medical staff continues to look at Matt Caesar, the senior, the All-American, got just walloped on the far sidelines by Matt Johnson and wobbled off the field. Zuber, low snap. Wobbly kick, fair catch called for by Norman White at the 46-yard line, a 35-yard punt. So Matt Caesar, who's had a phenomenal career, will he come back in the game? Stay with us and find out. You are looking at Matt Caesar, the All-American for Villanova, who appears to have had his helmet taken away and given a jacket after that big collision. The training staff taking a close look at him, but his year has been remarkable, folks. If there was ever a guy that was a Superman of sorts, this is him. Look at his last year. After he was named most outstanding player of last year's championship game, went on to play for the Villanova baseball team, had 4 for 6 outing in his first game, was player of the week, hit .652 in that first week. And then on April 27th, how about he went 5 for 5, hit for the cycle against Temple, hits a home run in his final at-bat before he missed 10 games. And why did he miss 10 games? Because he was out trying to save a life. He donated his blood cells to a young leukemia patient, which is a rare thing for a Caucasian. It's 1 in 80,000. For an African American or Hispanic, it's over 1 in 1 million to find a match. Well, he was a match. Comes back, hits a home run in his first at-bat since the transfusion. Then look down at the June 8th, 5th-round selection of the Chicago Cubs in the draft. Played for 3 minor league teams. Combined hit .347 And then this year in football, suffers an ankle injury, misses 6 games. They lose 3 of those games, returns against Delaware. Villanova wins in overtime to get to the playoffs. Then in the playoffs, he has been phenomenal. Last week capped off with 5 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 1 receiving, 1 passing. But now he has to watch. A remarkable timeline, a remarkable young man. If this is it for him, it's a shame his career has to go out on this note. Chris Whitney in at quarterback. Dumps it off to Aaron Ball, and he'll pick up a couple. J.C. Sherritt with the tackle. But there are few, so much was made of Tim Tebow and all of his efforts, not only on the field but off the field. But I mean, Matt Caesar matches him in every way. And the fact that he volunteered to save a young girl's life just caps it all off. Bat in the air, incomplete. To follow that story up, just to put a cap on that story, after you donate your blood cells to a blood donor bank, and somebody receives your blood, your bone marrow transplant, you have to wait a year before you can meet that person. Well, Matt Caesar has marked it, circled it on his calendar, can't wait for the year. Apparently the young girl that he donated his bone marrow to is doing well, and he is anxious to meet her, and hopefully that meeting will take place in the very near future. Whitney sails it out of bounds.
And the final footnote on the Matt Caesar with the bone marrow, I mean, that's something where the leadership starts at the top. And head coach Andy Talley at Villanova has instilled that in his players, to do more for people off the field than you do on the field. And that's something that's near and dear to his heart. He's got a foundation which really goes out there and tries to find people to get tested. So quality coach, quality player. Dangerous.
Loose football, and Villanova says they'll have it. Actually, our field judge says that Alante Wright was down, I believe. Barbero came up with the football. Now the discussion is on. I don't know that he ever had possession.
It doesn't matter there. I mean, you're taught, don't go up and make a running catch. If you can't have your 2 feet underneath you when you field that punt, then get away from the football.
Well, they'll say Eastern Washington has it, but I don't know that he ever had possession of the football as he hit the turf. We'll have another look at it, obviously.
The previous play is under further review.
Well, if he never had possession, unless the whistle blew, if he didn't have possession, it'd be a loose football.
Yeah, trying to run and make a head-first catch on a punt is not a good idea. Let's see if he ever had a clean catch then fall to the ground. That angle there, as soon as he hit the ground, the ball was in between his knees.
Yeah, here's a much better look at it.
Pops out right away.
This goes back to something the NFL has done a lot lately, and that is, and you hear it a lot, you need to make a football move. You got to control the ball. Even if you hit the turf, you have to be in possession of the football. Even if you're out of bounds, you have to control the football. I don't think he ever had control of that football.
Yeah, I mean, let's just ask ourselves this. If he was a wide receiver, would you call that a catch? And I think the answer would be no. And on a punt return, if you touch that ball, it touches you. The other team can grab it, and it becomes their football. So I don't think they would call this a catch if he was an offensive receiver playing on offense. I don't see how they can call this a controlled catch as a punt return.
Remember, in FCS, during the regular season, they don't have the benefit of replay, but in the playoffs, they go to the replay system. Boy, Villanova's offense chomping at the bit to get out there.
This is a huge play of impact and importance. I mean, this determination by the replay official can pretty much determine the outcome of this football game.
8:05 to play. Villanova down 10 despite 5 turnovers. It's the most they've had since they had 6 against James Madison back in 2004.
Upon further review, the receiver muffed the catch. The ball was recovered by Villanova. Villanova's ball, 1st and 10 at the 14.
Well, just as Villanova was dropping off some Christmas gifts here at Cheney, Washington, well, the Eagles are dropping their own presents off. So now Villanova will be set up inside the 15-yard line, down 10 with just over 8 minutes to play.
And if you're D coordinator John Graham from Eastern Washington, you look at J.C. Sherritt, your All-American linebacker, and you say, one more time, son, can you give it to me one more time?
Whitney will keep it, then option it. Mikey Reynolds inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. That'll be close to the first down. I think that will be good enough for the first down.
He actually pitched this ball with the incorrect hand. You're supposed to pitch it with the left hand. He's got it in his right. He throws it with the right hand there. Not the way you draw it up, but when you're at this stage of the football contest, anything goes to get a victory.
1st and goal from the 4. Whitney, he'll keep it. Dropped at the 2-yard line. Zach Johnson. Zach with his third tackle of the game.
Let's see here now. Coach Andrew Talley and offensive coordinator Sam Venuto are sticking to their mettle. We asked them, if you get the ball 2nd and short, 3rd and short, you got to get it where you're running. They told us behind the left side. Then Ijalana.
Little option game, and Whitney will keep it. His 2nd touchdown on the ground tonight from 2 yards out. He went in untouched. So the turnover by Eastern Washington was huge.
Now Villanova playing like a championship quality team, capitalizing on another team's turnover. That's what good teams will make you do. If you turn the ball over, they make you pay on the scoreboard with a touchdown, not settling for a field goal.
Mark Hamilton to attempt the point after. He sneaks it through the uprights. Chris Whitney and Villanova taking advantage of the muffed punt. 3 plays, 14 yards, capped off by the 2-yard Whitney run. Chris Whitney scores his 2nd touchdown of the game, and it is a big one to pull Villanova to within 3 despite 5 turnovers here on the road. Their 3rd consecutive road game in the FCS playoffs, and despite all their turmoil and the fact that Matt Caesar's out with look what appears, we're just going to guess here, a head injury of some sort, perhaps a concussion, they're still hanging in. Yeah,
I mean, this has been a heavyweight fight, and you've had one guy up against the ropes, but they haven't been able to deliver the knockout blow. Villanova still standing strong. They're in the contest. Who would have thought that in spite of the turnovers they've committed, they're still in there playing like a true champion.
It's win or go home at this point. Winner advances to Frisco, Texas for the FCS championship game against the winner of Georgia Southern Delaware, which will be tomorrow on ESPNU. And we have 7:08 to play in this game. That kick taken by Jesse Hoffman. Out over the 35 to the 36-yard line.
And after the physical nature of this football contest, I'm sure both coaches are glad to know that they've changed up the format of the FCS playoffs. Instead of just having to play the following week, they're going to have at least till January 7th to rest their body, because trust me, both of these teams are going to be exhausted and beat up after this contest.
Right here on this field, the red turf. Eastern Washington won in overtime 38-31 against North Dakota State. Villanova won at Boone in their quarterfinal game over Appalachian State. Here's Mario Brown, and he'll pick up 10 yards. Eric Loper with a big hit, but a first down for the Eagles.
One thing you have to be careful about for Eastern Washington, protecting the football. The importance of holding on to that one, and you see Mario Brown doing what he's continued to do, but textbook form tackle there by Eric Loper coming off the corner.
After this game, it'll be Sports Center coming up next. Right here on ESPN2 with 6:37 to go. Timeout for a measurement. We've had 7 turnovers in this game, 5 by Villanova, 2 by Eastern Washington. Eagles had 5 last week, but survived. Villanova, your defending FCS national champs. Last year took down Montana, another team out of the Big Sky. Eastern Washington trying to make their first championship game appearance. Finished the regular season as the top-ranked team in the FCS. Brown, the single setback. Handoff off the right side. Mario busts through that hole into Villanova territory, a gain of 5. Loper with his 8th tackle of the evening. And Brown will call for a substitution. Looks like he might have twisted an ankle at the end of that run.
They need him back. He's played a phenomenal football game here tonight. If you're offensive coordinator Aaron Best for Eastern Washington, wow, would you love to have one of those nice little 4-minute touchdown drives where you eat up a lot of clock, put some more points on the board.
Boy, he has 100 yards on the ground now, 22 carries, 100 yards in his FCS starting debut in the playoffs. Dario Belmonte brought down by Terrence Thomas, a loss of a yard.
And that's the difference in running style right there. That's Mario Brown. Although you get penetration behind the line of scrimmage, he's been finding a way to at least make the first guy miss in the backfield, pick up some positive yardage. When you go with Belmonte, he's more the power back. North-south doesn't have the agility side to side that Mario Brown has.
Boy, Eastern Washington has been just flat out brutal on 3rd downs tonight. 1 out of 10. They came in 3rd in their conference in the Big Sky, 38% for the season, but no such luck tonight. 3rd down and 6 over the middle. They will convert this 3rd down. Inside the 40 goes Brandon Kaufman. He'll pick up 8 yards.
Brandon Kaufman lined up as a slight receiver. All he did was just replace the linebackers. You see the linebackers blitz up the middle. He's going to come in that formation and just replace where they were. That was the vacancy or the void in the defense of secondary for Villanova. 1st down, Eagles.
Mario Brown back in the game at tailback. He'll line up 7 yards deep. A couple of tight ends in the game on a 1st down and 10. Brown may have lost a yard. Kirkland with another tackle, his 6th of the game.
Talk about the Villanova defense and that 3-3 stack, they like to call it. Very hard for the lineman as well as a quarterback to get a pre-snap read. You've got bodies that are just in unnatural positions, what you're used to seeing on the football field. Hard for the lineman to establish who they're going to pick out in their running game.
3:50 and counting to play. 2 timeouts remaining for Villanova. They're down 3. They have trailed all night. With the exception of the opening kickoff, it has been Eastern Washington on the scoreboard. Kaufman makes the catch. Pitts with the tackle, a gain of 7. And timeout taken by Villanova. That'll stop the clock with 3:25. And we'll step aside. Eastern Washington trying to hold on. The FCS Football Championship game live on ESPN2 at 7 p.m. Eastern on Friday, January 7th from Pizza Hut Park in Frisco, Texas. For more information on the FCS Football Championship, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. A cool winter night here in the Pacific Northwest. Temperatures in the mid-20s, but we are at the Inferno, the red turf of Eastern Washington, where the Eagles trying to hold on, looking at a 3rd down and 5 with 3:25 to play. Mitchell going up top. Batted away at the last moment, and that'll stop the clock. With 3:18 to play, Martell Moody knocks it away.
And that's probably one of the few poor decisions we've seen Bo Mitchell make today, trying to take the long throw there instead of just trying to get something to, one, keep the clock moving, and two, just get a completion so you can pick up the first down. Actually, they played cover two. He went for the wide side throw when the short side throw would have been there for the vertical route to Brandon Kaufman along the sideline.
Well, instead of going for the field goal, they will try to close it out here with a first down on 4th down and 5. Bo Levi Mitchell in the shotgun. Dumps it down over the middle. Didn't get it. I think Villanova will get the football. They'll be 2 yards shy. Anthony Johnson with the tackle of Tyler Hart. Now the spot. Oh, they got the benefit of a great spot. Oh, and Villanova can't believe it.
You see the line there. It's about as close as you can get. When you look at the replay, it was closer than it appeared.
And I think that Villanova is going to take a timeout, and
Previous play is under further review.
so apparently they didn't take a timeout. It came, somebody got buzzed, and the upstairs will look at the spot. That is very close. The replay made it look better for Eastern Washington than it did in real time.
You know, did we see enough on that replay to say that the officials got it wrong on the field? They need to get to the 29-yard line. He's around on the 28. He catches it right on it.
28.5-yard line. I think that's a first down. Look, now the line is close, but it's not exact. But I think that should be good enough for a first down. Its forward progress was closer to the 28 than it was the 29.
It's about as close as you can get there. Good instinct, good reaction by the linebacker core of Villanova.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Bo Baldwin rolling the dice on 4th down and 5. And now Villanova has 1 timeout remaining, and the clock will start right now. So there is 20 seconds on the play clock, and Bo Levi Mitchell is in no hurry to get this snap away. Bo Levi Mitchell, by the way, 26 out of 37, 269, and he'll hand it off to Mario Brown. He'll lose a couple. And I think Villanova will burn their final timeout on 2nd down and what'll be about 12 yards to go. How about Bo Baldwin? 4th and 5. Up 3. And it pays off. Well, it'll pay off to watch some football this weekend as the Capital One Bowl week gets underway tomorrow with 3 games. First at 2 Eastern, BYU faces UTEP at the New Mexico Bowl. Then at 5:30 Eastern, Northern Illinois takes on Fresno State in the U-Drove Humanitarian Bowl. At 9 Eastern, Ohio meets Troy in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. All 3 games are also available on ESPN Radio, online at ESPN3.com. And guess what? You can also get it on your phone. How times have changed.
Interesting bowl matchup there. BYU, that'll be the last time they'll play that New Mexico Bowl for the next 2 years. They've signed 2-year bowl commitments. And then Northern Illinois, who's going to coach them in the bowl game? Their head coach, Jerry Kill's gone on to Minnesota.
Well, here in Cheney, Washington, the Eagles trying to run out the clock. Mario Brown, handoff off the right side, up over 100 yards now inside the 25. But he went out of bounds. That'll stop the clock, a free timeout, if you will, for Villanova.
Well, that's huge. That is huge. That's one there where you wish the freshman would have had the wherewithal to just fall down once he bounced to the outside. But he saw some daylight and he attacked. It's his running style that he has. Good job by the cornerback for Villanova, James Pitts, forcing Brown out of bounds to stop that clock.
Look at the Villanova offensive line guys that have spent so much time together. They want one more chance. Here's Brown. He's stuffed after a yard gain. That'll bring up 4th down and 4. Fred Maldonado comes up to make the tackle. And the play clock is at 28 seconds. So there'll be about 1:10 when this play has to unfold.
Tough situation to be in if you're Eastern Washington. And Villanova already has a kick return for you for a touchdown against you already. And you've got a kicker that's missed 4 field goals of less than 40 yards on the season. Decisions, decisions, decisions.
So 1:11.
Eastern Washington, first time out of the half.
Takes the timeout. That'll leave them 2. There's Mike Jarrett, who has hit from 24 and 31, but missed from 39. NCAA football championships continue tomorrow on ESPN2 and ESPNU. First at 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2, Delta State takes on Minnesota Duluth in the NCAA Division II championship. Then at 3:30 Eastern, catch the NCAA Division III championship on ESPNU as Wisconsin Whitewater faces Mount Union for the 6th consecutive year in the championship game. The NCAA football championships presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car on ESPN2 and ESPNU tomorrow. So Bo Bald, when he rolled the dice one time already, does he do it again or does he send out the kicking unit?
I haven't seen him talk to the kicker once. The offense has been meeting on the sideline the whole time. Woo! Postseason football.
He's going to go for it. Bo Levi Mitchell coming on the field. On 4th down and 4. They converted a 4th and 5 just a minute and a half ago. Going to the end zone. Touchdown, Eastern Washington. Greg Hurd from 23 yards out on 4th down and 4. There is your ball game.
They've been going to the double moves all night long, putting the safeties in a bind, and safety Martell Moody for Villanova just overran the football. What a gutsy call.
Twice on this drive. Mike Jarrett to attempt a point after. It is up and it is good. It's back to a 10-point lead. And Eastern Washington and their fans thinking about punching a ticket to Frisco, Texas on January 7th.
You see the pump and go right here. Looks hard to the right, comes back to the left. Look at Moody. 13, he's there. He just loses where the football is. Overruns a football, poor angle, can't get to it. Can you say somebody has finally delivered the knockout blow against the Villanova Wildcats? What do you say? The coordinator talking to Coach Talley. Add somebody there in the right place, there to make a play.
How about this for this drive? 12 plays, 63 yards, over 6 minutes off the clock. They convert 2 4th downs.
That's how you win a championship. You can't wait for a championship to fall in your lap. Every now and then you've got to go out there and you've got to take a championship run.
Bo Levi Mitchell, 27 of 38, 292, 4 touchdown passes. Now remember, Angelo Barbero has returned a kickoff, 86 yards for a touchdown already tonight, our opening kickoff. Line drive kick. Take a couple of bounces, fall into the lap of Barbero. Angelo to the 35 and dropped right there with 58 seconds to play.
And you see Greg Hurd there on the sideline celebrating. He deserves it. After dropping a touchdown earlier in the contest on the same exact route, Hurd made up for it in that last possession, that last touchdown grab.
Whitney chased down and dropped. A loss of 4. Sayah with his second sack of the game.
Sayah's just getting around the guy on the outside, and second time this evening, Whitney's tried to run away from him. Doesn't have enough foot speed. Sayah can really motor coming around that edge. Another sack.
Down the middle, picked off by Matt Johnson. From Cheney, Washington to Frisco, Texas. Here come the Eastern Washington Eagles.
They definitely went out with the fight. Nobody can question that. The ability to even stay in this contest after all the adversity they had to overcome, the road trips, the turnovers early in contests, falling behind early. Never quitting, but give credit to this Eastern Washington Eagle football squad.
Sports Center coming up in a matter of moments. Guys like Matt Caesar and Chris Whitney, careers come to a close.
How about the story for Levi Mitchell? He's going back to Texas.
Out of Katy, Texas, going back home to play for a championship. Will it be against Delaware or Georgia Southern? Find out tomorrow at noon on ESPNU. Levi Mitchell throws for 292 and 4 touchdowns. And for the first time ever, the Eagles will play for the FCS national title.